Almost there. Hey, everyone. I think we're live. Happy Tuesday. You're watching Don and Jack live. How are you doing?
Hey, Jack. How's it going, guys? How's it going, everyone? Doing well. Happy Tuesday. Happy to be here. How you doing, boss man?
I'm doing really good, man. Really, really good.
A lot to talk about today. A lot to get into today. I think we have a good series ahead of us. The last 15 minutes, we will be going over some, giving it to the community, giving it to you guys, those that are watching us, some more time on some charts, if anything specifically you guys want us to go over. I think we'll just kind of, break the ice here. We do have the NCAA tournament coming along. Jack's, lives overseas, so he doesn't know too much about that. But
I know nothing about it. Please enlighten me. What is it? Everyone's talking about it. I have no idea. Please go ahead and tell me.
So here in the U.S., March Madness is kind of a month for NCAA basketball. So college basketball, it's one big tournament. 64 teams get combined, and it's been happening all year round, and it's one of the most exciting things to watch for the end of March in terms of college basketball. I think we have. We almost have an NBA team that's in the tournament, Duke and so forth. So, it's kind of something that, I'm a big sports fan. Jack, you a big sports fan? I'm sure soccer's one for you. But it's really exciting to watch. Anybody that's in here, anybody have any team that they specifically think is going to win? I personally think, North Carolina and Duke are going to make a run for their money here. So keep an eye out on that. Jack's like, oh,
I'm like, I don't know. The only thing I follow personally is actual like European soccer, Champions League, the Dutch league. I love soccer. Big fan of Ajax. Ajax. How do you say that in English?
Ajax.
Yeah.
Ajax. Yeah.
Ajax is great. Yeah. I was just St. Paddy's, man.
Oh, St. Patrick's Day was great. Man, here in Chicago, they do actually some wonderful things. I live here over in Chicago, and they actually color our Chicago River green every year. The whole entire river is green. A bunch of Irishmen come, and you know what? Hey, the famous Irishman Conor McGregor was in town for the Chicago Parade, so that was pretty interesting. Sweet. How about yours? How was yours?
I front ran it a little bit. I think it was Friday. I had a little party. I think the sun was out when I got to bed. It was lovely. So yeah, no regrets there, but there was nobody in green out here at all. So I don't think it counts as St. Paddy's Day then.
Yeah, we actually had some nice weather here. So hopefully the weather does turn around, and I think it is here shortly. It's no more snow, hopefully, here in Chicago. So looking forward to the summer days. You want to jump into things?
Yeah, let's get it going. So, okay, so we're going to talk maybe 10, 12 minutes into how we define and find bottom formations, how we try to trade them. And I think after that, we are going to take 15 minutes to look into some community requests. I see Jay talking in the chat box saying, later, would you go over Lux? Is there any hope for it? Is it now the time to average down? Well, Jay, I promise you, we'll discuss Lux. I'll pull it up, and so there is always when we're trying to define what a bottom structure is or how to catch these bottoms. There's a set of rules we like to work with. I think for that, it's best that I share my screen. Let's see if I can do like that. There we go. We're full screen. All right, so when we are trying to catch a bottom, we first have to find, that's the first step, a key level of historical interest. A level of historical interest, preferably where price went into the direction that we want to trade. What that is exactly, we will try to visualize in a little bit. And after we had interaction with that specific price level, we would love that there was also an interaction with an order block or that lows are swept. And the reaction we want to see on these levels, preferably, is sharp, strong price action. So in the case we're trying to get a short, it needs to be sharp price action downwards as a rejection of a resistance. And the other way around, if it's a long that we're playing, we want to see a strong up move with a lot of volume going up from this key level. This is confirmation at that point that there is interest of big pockets to enter the market. And it's difficult to predict these. It's difficult to get into these initial bounces. But as price retraces into important order blocks that then are formed, or structures or pivots, we can try to start to find entries. And preferably we combine that with FIP and other TA confluence, for example, Wyckoff patterns, volume analysis. All these things are really important. So just to kick it off, just visualize it real quick. This is just a random non-crypto chart, Yamana Gold Incorporation stock market. And this thing, it was brought to my attention in the Bravado Discord by a member called Pi, if I'm correct. And he said, like, hey, can you look at this? Is this a week of accumulation? And I said, no, it's probably not. But look how beautiful it actually got to a key level back in 2004. We had a wick down here, and price started to move away and had a very bullish run. So if we look at our number one, we have a key level of historical interest right here. And we had an interaction with an order block or sweep the lows. In this case, we swept the lows. Like, it went under, but it got rejected, never closed below. And then it had number three, sharp, strong price action after interaction with key level. So this ticked all the boxes. You know, we even had a higher swing low. So there was some kind of, you know, strength to this move, showing that it wanted to actually maybe divert trend. What do you think of this chart, Don?
No, yeah, that chart, you should hit it right on. You know, there was a strong reaction to that low, and it actually swept it twice there.
Yeah, twice, two swipes.
Yeah, so initially you saw a nice sweep, you know, ideal little move. And then price went back down and swept that original low that it did create there. Am I correct? That new low that it created, it swept that one.
It reswept that one. So that was, you know, that would have been the most insane entry on this thing. So you could actually have caught potentially perhaps the bottom. Although for me personally, I would not have been convinced by this little bounce from here to 270. I would have thought that would have been continuation of the trend. So yeah. Really, where the money came in is after that second touch, after sweeping the like an extra low, the small low. It's nice.
That small low.
Caught on that. Yeah, that's a nice catch. But you know what confirms to me that this could be a bottom formation, and we'll have to see it play out. This is a monthly chart, so it's slow. Is the fact that this swing high here, you know, you have this high, and on the left you have two lower highs, and on the right you have two lower highs. We broke it, we went above it, we closed above it, and then we started to retrace. So to get back to our little list here, we get to point 4. We retrace into important order block, pivot, or structure. So let's see, you know, like this is a pivot right here, and we started retracing into this order block, and see how beautiful.
Beautiful, man.
What is this? This is an order block, ladies and gentlemen. Rejection, support, and then it pushed with violent, strong price action, pushed upwards. So the EQ level, the equilibrium, the center, the 50%, well, however you want to call it, is right here. And look, as we draw a line through that, it just wicked underneath it. So this order block was tested and then pushed back above. What we ideally want to see is to see closes that are above the closes right here, and preferably you close above the wick high here, which did not really happen entirely yet. So what price could be doing is coming back into the order block that's right here, and then take off and look at you know, some higher price action of the range, which is probably sitting at like 320, 380. And you know, after that, once you establish this higher low here and you establish this higher high here, it could be set up for an uptrend for the next couple of months to years. I like
that. That's actually well said. What I noticed there is that closed on that initial bounce, and then we went and swept that low again. That big price reaction, it actually closed above that high. That's a signal of a strong signal that there's going to be some upward continuation. So when you're looking, especially that's a high time frame. I can't see what time frame you're really looking at, but
this is a monthly.
that is absolutely insane, guys. When you see it, especially monthly and weekly, we look for those specifically for price to have an upward continuation. You got that clean break, and notice you actually have a back test there. You have an opportunity to buy that back test and take price higher.
Right here on like in the month of March 2016, the market gave you an opportunity to get into this silly pump. This was a strong impulse move. Never think that strong impulse moves are never ignore them. They are telltale. So I mean, we can jump into a little bit lower time frame just to see how this played out, right? Yeah. Let's see. We're talking about the month of February.
Right.
Let's jump to a 3-day, man.
Watching that lower local price action is key. Go ahead, jump back there.
I have to click my way back. What do we say? FEP. All right, let's hit it. FEP. All right, so here's February, guys. This is how it looked if we zoomed in. Price broke above this swing high here. This is a swing high on this time frame. It got above, it closed above, and then there were 2 opportunities. So you had an entire week,
right,
to see your confirmed break above, and after you even had 2
you can anticipate it.
Candles close above it, and then on the third one, it still let you get into this trade. And even more so, there's a little order block right here. If you would zoom in on the 12-hour or the daily, that got retested by these week close here. So beautiful trading. And this is just to show you guys that the way we try to look at these markets is it's not bound to crypto. You could even say that it's more applicable on non-crypto markets because these are generally more liquid.
Right.
So no, I love this. This is a great chart. Although it's not crypto and it's going to be moving slow, as you can see. This is a monthly chart, so this took 3 years.
Right.
Yeah. So,
but it shows you, one thing to point. I showed you that higher time frame is really going to show you a real direction of where price wants to go. If price closes or a certain candle closes at the certain. What we're looking for, and those things you could find out way before, the chart speaks for itself more or less, and you could find those.
Yeah. So maybe it's an idea we jump into Lux because we have Josh H. Josh is asking what the current stance on BTC is, so we can jump into that as well. And Jimmy Benke is asking us, what do we think of bread and butter indicators? I'm not sure what bread and butter indicators are. Do you?
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with that. If you're speaking on indicators, are you speaking on indicators just in general?
Bread and butter ones, he says.
So I
don't know. I'm sorry. If you could explain that to us, maybe we can give an answer to that. So let's jump into Lux and maybe BTC afterwards. And I think you have some charts that shows some really nice bottom ideas.
Let's do it.
You want to do Lux?
You could do Lux. Let me see. I only pull it up here. Coin signals. I haven't looked at Lux in a while. Unless you have something.
It's listed on Bitrex, wasn't it?
It might be. Yeah. Let's see what I got here.
So Bitcoin is not looking bad, to be honest, but it is at resistance. So it's tough to say okay, go long here.
Is Lux on? I haven't looked at Lux. Nope. No, Lux is not on.
Where the hell is this coin listed?
I know it was listed on.
Is it dead?
Is it dead? Well, I mean, I think the CEO is John McAfee. I know it was listed on that crap exchange, Cryptopia.
Phil says it's listed on Coinbene.
Coinbene. Notice the lows were the full history data on Lux. Lows are beginning to get swept right now. They actually did get swept. On low volume coins like this, sometimes it's difficult. There's really I really can't identify a range with this pair right now. 1 second.
Let's see. All right. Well, I'll just pull it up and you can have a look at it.
Price could be could continue to consolidate below that, that primary low. Continue to consolidate. What I mean, like another week or so under here, people are going to begin accumulating before you actually see some positive price action. This is kind of a prime area where I actually begin to look at this coin. I evaluate, the high time frame. Right now it's trading below its primary low, for several weeks. 1, 2, 3. We got about a solid month in here so far, which. I'd be interested to see for me personally, I'd be interested to see where this end of March closes, where this monthly candle closes, to really signify where, price could be potentially be headed. If we close below that, close below or above that primary low that we did set back in, 2017.
Well, let's put it this way, let's be honest. Last month it interacted with that low from 2017 right? November, and it pushed back up. But this month just showed weakness by revisiting it. So if I zoom out to another time frame, this doesn't qualify the criteria we were talking about that we wanted to see. Right. Strong interaction with an important level. And what we should not forget that the chart we were looking at, like the Yamaha Gold one, that one was a monthly chart as well. But this is crypto, so things move a lot faster. It's a lot less. It's less mature. So the fact that this thing, if you look at, for example, the 3-day, it had it pushed back up, got rejected by resistance, and then came back down. So for me personally, it doesn't qualify my bottom criteria. If it comes back up and it makes a higher high, then I'll start to look for a retrace.
What I would, to trail off what you just said, it definitely doesn't fit the criteria. But one thing I do think that you should keep your eye on with this pair, if you do want to trade this, if you think there's some upside coming, in the next month, I want you to keep an eye on that new local low that it just built right there. That new one, the new low. No, that new low at the bottom.
Yes, I see it, but just let me.
Yeah, you're good. Take your time. So that new low, I would keep your eye on. If price, heads that way and swipes that low again, I could see some positive. I could see there's some potential to turn this around. I don't want to completely say this is not a bottom formation. If it doesn't fit the criteria, but it very well can, in the future. Yes. So if you notice that low, keep an eye on it. If price does, sweep that low and continue to trade higher, there's a very good chance that this could continue and retrade, have an uptrend.
It's beautiful. No, I agree. I fully agree with you there. I think Lux needs time to develop. It could actually be right now. It's not a good play. There's no.
Definitely not
signs of life for me, but maybe it will in 2-3 months' time. If by any chance the market turns around for the next couple of months, BTC has a little rally to 5 or 6K, and alt season can happen. All these smaller coins will have a short-term revival, but just make sure that if there's no fundamental development ongoing, that you just sell the pumps, because literally don't believe that these coins are going to change the world, because they're not.
Right. And Lux is one of those that out of the blue, it will pump. So notice your line on that low where we've been continuously get rejected. that is a primary point, guys. If price actually, on a higher time frame gets a close above that line, guys, that, where you see that continued, that gray line just above your red line. If you see a high time frame close, you're going to see some upside from there, in my opinion.
We'll see.
So
let's have a little looky at Bitcoin. I have a million charts of Bitcoin. I can literally throw anything at you based off Bitcoin. Like the chart, my most important chart that I've been using for the last couple of weeks has been this one, which if we analyze it, it shows us that literally what happened to Bitcoin is, am I going to use this chart? Maybe this one is cleaner. All right. This is cleaner. So basically for Bitcoin, just to talk about how we found a potential bottom, not saying this is a bottom, but let's say we find a potential bottom, we have to look at prices of interest as we go back. So there is this potential area of interest at 2,950 and somewhere above it. And then if you look on a daily, there was a rejection of this 2,950 level. So somewhere in here, there was level of interest, and price, as it came in here back in 2017, saw a really solid reaction, after which it started to run up. So, So basically, key criteria one, interaction with a level of, let's see if we can go back to the monthly here. So a key level of historical interest was definitely confirmed with this reaction here, which was quite strong. And then I like to look at how strong the reaction is. It didn't make a new high, that's for sure. But the retrace of this was definitely almost 90%. So if we look at it, you see it's 86.8% right here. That's where it got rejected. And so we saw a strong move, strong price action. It confirmed kind of this OB criteria slightly, not entirely. It's not as clean as some other charts, but we did see number 3, sharp, strong price action after interaction with key level. So the fourth thing that we want to look at is a retrace into an important order block, a pivot, or some kind of structure. And that was definitely fulfilled if we look at how slowly this started to retrace into a very important block. And to show you what I think is an important block right here is there's this little consolidation that goes on here, which created a bearish order block that pushed down literally right. We could, if I draw it roughly, it's something like that. See? And then it nuked it with force and then retraced slowly to it. And a little secret, but you're always going to want to pay attention on these retraces to the 70 to 80% retrace levels. As you can see right here, we never really completely closed below this 70 to 80% retrace level. And then look what happened right here. This is perfect. We've seen that in this other chart as well. We had a low here, quickly swept the low, and then we mooned. So basically, this was a bullish move. And as we look at the price action, this was strong, also strong downwards. We're at resistance, but Bitcoin is performing quite strongly. And what I wanted to see is how price reacted in a retrace. And basically, price never closed really closed long below the fair value of this entire range. So basically, if we look at, if you can say that the fair price of Bitcoin for the recent price action of this entire consolidation is its equilibrium of this entire thing. Right? So let's say the fair value is 3772. This is subjective, but you can draw it somewhere around this orange box. Price never really closed below it for a very long amount of time, and every time it reacted to it, it bounced off. So it's definitely not the place to go long on Bitcoin right here because it's at resistance. There's some trend lines coming down all the way from early 2018.
Mm-hmm.
So you cannot long this thing here, but would I short it? Hell no. We longed this beautiful 3,400 level,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to have a stop loss, which I'm not going to disclose because I've been told that's something you shouldn't do. But I'm not closing my short my long here because like I played a high time frame balance of a potential $4,900 target. So that's currently what I'm playing.
Nice. No, that you're right on point. I have the very, very, very similar analysis. We have some quite confluence there.
Sweet. So let's see. BVH is saying, Jack, thank you for the BTC bottom report.
Okay.
Good work. Well, thank you very much, BVH. I did it with joy. For everyone who didn't read it, check it out. You can find it on www.bitcoinbravadovip.com/downloads with an S. You can find this whole 43 pages PDF, which has in-depth analysis on the fundamentals and the technical analysis of this market, and a potential thesis of, like the market could turn bullish. What do you think, Don? Are we in for some fun?
I mean, we've been in for some fun for the past few weeks. It's been great. I mean, the past few months we've been extremely profitable, so can't complain on that end. But I think we have ourselves. We're going to be in for a little ride in these next few months, and I'm excited. So, you want me to go ahead and jump into XLM?
Yeah, let's finish on XLM today.
Okay, quickly. I'll jump into XLM and then I'll go over Go real quickly. Okay. All right. So real quickly, I want to show a comparison on XLM, and this is one we've had we've been a part of. We've traded this, and we've been following for a little bit of time now. So what I want to show you guys, the comparison from XLM BTC and XLM USD, what we really seen here. Okay. So here's the XLM BTC chart, guys. Notice how we actually created a primary low here at 2,100 stats, my little bit darker green line here. So 2,100. Let's ignore this. This is our Bravado entry. Let's ignore that. All right. So our primary low was 2,100. So
never ignore your entry, brother.
The entry was pretty good, but let's break this down a little bit. I want to show you guys what's going on with XLM here. So notice this primary low. That's when I saw this sell-off continue to go down, fairly strong sell-off for, continuous week after week. I knew price was going for this low. Okay. So notice how price swept these two lows, these equal lows down here. Price swept and boom! Look at this move we had here. Absolutely vicious. So I knew XLM was trading somewhat towards these lows. It wanted to sweep them. There was liquidity down there, but it's going to take time to get there. So that's one primary thing I was looking for. But notice, I want to show you. This is the XLM BTC. I'm going to show you XLM USD. So the XLM USD, there was really no primary lows here, guys. If you want to use this as a primary low, I wouldn't. I mean, you could use it and you get this, sell off again. Okay. But I want to show you.
So that's actually really nice. You checked that pair because that gives so much more of an idea of what was going to happen to XLM.
Absolutely. And you better believe these will cause some resistance when we make our way back up. So notice we don't have a primary low to work with here on the USD pair. Sorry about that. Let's delete that. We don't have a primary low to work with here. So our primary low would be our primary last high before the strong move up, guys. Okay, so I indicated that they're at 0.07 and numbers. Okay, if you dig in here, price actually just swept it. And we didn't go back down there, guys. Price, big money was in here. Big money was buying down here. They had a bunch of liquidity down here. And let's move price higher, okay? So one thing that, I learned from this trade specifically that I want to share with you guys is this on the USD pair, this primary low or this last high was actually swept prior to the BTC pair. It's kind of difficult to show you on the lower time frame, but, I really want to show you guys that price tried to go get the low, but it got the low on the USD pair, didn't get it on the BTC pair till a little while after. I want to say about a week after. Okay. And we saw that once the primary lows were swept on BTC, that's when we really saw some upside to begin, right? And here's the daily. You know, we're seeing a full out reversal. We're seeing great news come out on XLM. And if you build a range here, it's actually pretty beautiful. If you would have traded this, there's the low. And just like I trade, like, you know, I've explained in my other series, you know, our low and high was formed. You know, we consolidated above, retested EQ, and we broke up to higher supply. So this is what we look, you know, for me, I'm looking.
Beautiful. Like if you zoom in on that chart, like where we first bounced at that bottom, that range low, and then we built that order block, which kind of pushed us all the way outside of the range, but then back. You see how it tested the equilibrium of that little block on those wicks at the bottom, below the EQ of the entire range.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what you want to look for, guys. This is exactly where it tells you that the market is interested. You want to see a big move, strong move. Everyone starts selling their bags because it starts to retrace. And this is literally, it's going to tap some demand of an EQ of an order block, and then consolidate, chop, and then boom.
And boom, an explosive move. And you know what? And if you look at this at a high time frame, guys, you know, weekly here, you know, we swept the lows and we've seen some positive price action. We've moved up. Let's delete this. You know, the next prime location is higher liquidity. If we're trading this off a weekly time frame, we're going to target some weekly order blocks. And, you know, the equilibrium on this weekly supply, you know, we're looking at, you know, 3,057 sets. You know, that's where another take profit of ours is. And, you know, up here is actually our monthly supply. Simple, guys. You know, look at this monthly on the XLM. If we close like this on XLM in the next month, you better believe we're going to see some continued upside, in my opinion. It might not happen right away, but, you know, it
might have to retrace a little bit,
right?
Retest some demand. I mean, it's not going to go up there straight away.
Correct.
Let's be honest. You know, we're not saying buy it here, because this is definitely not the place to buy. But we're trying to explain how to get into trades at the right moment at a profitable price. You know, like the fact that we think this might continue is not a reason to enter. Right. You want to enter because of your framework. You want to enter because of your rules that fit your framework.
So yeah, no, that well said there. That's it on XLM. I'll quickly go just real quick, guys. This is one I was watching for a little bit of time. Here we go. Let me do this real quick. Let me actually delete that. Okay, so notice how this low was swept over here, and price took off. Okay, immediately when I was actually watching this, notice I have my range here. You know, we swept the lows. We went high and tested supply. We broke down and we broke out of range, going to new demand, right? I noticed our new demand, our 3-day demand was down here. We had a 3-day close below our demand. That was bearish to me. So I began immediately when I saw that, I in my head, I thought, okay, price is going to sweep these lows down here. All right. So our new primary low was down here at 465 sats, guys. We had some continued rejections back at our 3-day order block that, you know, this is where heavy demand is. A lot of money was buying, institutional money was buying here. Continuously get rejected on high time frame and low time frame, guys. If you move in here on the daily, boom, no close above. Continuously get rejected at 519 sats, at the equilibrium of that 3-day block.
That's some nasty, well, that's not saying manipulation, but you know, there was definitely some forces in the market trying to trick people into selling at lower prices.
Absolutely. So like I said, I missed this trade, guys. I had bids right below this this low, 465 sats. Okay. And I wanted, you know, I had some bids below, nothing too crazy. And I wanted to see price react, you know, get a strong reaction. We actually never got this. You know, it's sad to see, but, you know, you let these go. We were so close. 465 sats. We got to 471, 6 sats away from.
But that's also, you know, like sometimes you just want to be sure. You want to be sure. You know, sometimes you can put some of your position a bit up higher, and just to make sure you're on the trade, and you just adjust the amount you get into the trade. So you just trade a lower position size. If you really are fearful of missing out on it,
Right.
generally you should not do it. But let's be honest, like we don't always sweep the lows. Like if your
Nope.
framework is sweep the lows, yes, that's a really nice framework, but it's gonna eventually lead to missing trades because sometimes we react at different levels, and there's other analysis that could lead us to finding these levels. I think like testing EQs of order blocks is a really important one, but we have a lot more in, up our sleeves. I think we should talk about that next week.
Yeah, absolutely.
I hope you guys really enjoyed watching this show. Let's throw you. Let's put our faces in here one more time before we shut down.
Yep.
All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, just shoot DM us on Twitter, or perhaps maybe we see you one day in the Bravado Discord. That would be awesome. There you get to have a one-on-one with us to ask any questions you have. And yeah, I think I like the show, Don. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Likewise, man. And if you guys have any constructive criticism, whatever you guys want to go up, for our next series, anything in particular that you think, will be informative for you guys to learn and so forth, reach out to us and we'll be happy to help and create a series for you guys.
All right, sweet. All right, you guys are awesome. Thank you very much. This was it for Don and Jack Live this week, but we'll be back next week, 11:59 AM CST. Thank you, guys. See you later.
Take care, guys. Have a good one.